Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video I'm going to analyze the natal chart of Harvey Weinstein. Probably you know who he is, but just in case you don't, he was an American film producer. He and his brother co-founded the entertainment company Miramax. And in October 2017, following sexual abuse allegations against him, he was dismissed from his company and expelled from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. I think currently he's not in prison, but he might even get life imprisonment. So we see that his ascendant is in Scorpio, and it's very strong. It's energized by Mars, and Mars used to be a ruler of Scorpio. Now some consider Mars to be a co-ruler of Scorpio, so his energy could have been very investigative, uncovering the secrets, but instead he misused the energy. Since it's in negative aspect with Pluto, this made him very dominating, not considering the wishes of others, but trying to get what he wants at any cost. If we go, for example, to his moon, we see that it's in conjunction with Chiron, and this means that the wound, Chiron represents the wound, might have been inflicted by his mother, and his mother might have been, considering the sign that the moon is in, quite cold, businesslike, unemotional, and this is not a bad sign. Some say that moon in Capricorn is bad. I see astrology in this way: nothing is really bad or good, it's just how you use it. And if you're an undeveloped person, then having ascendant in Scorpio will make you a horrible person. But if you're developed, you can be an excellent doctor, excellent investigator, someone that is very mystical and able to understand occult subjects. So it just depends whether you're raising your vibration, you're developing yourself and accessing higher vibrations of the sign. So here the same applies to moon in Capricorn. It could make people very selfish, unfeeling, and minding only their own well-being, but it can also make people highly intuitive about business and just resilient, able to survive in very bad conditions, whilst moon being in other signs might be not as resilient. So it just depends. But since Chiron conjuncts his moon, I would assume that his mother was inflicted some kind of damage on him, and it could be that that's the reason he is the way that he is. But also, if we look, I will jump a little bit here. If we look at his 12th house, the lessons that he has to learn is not misusing his creativity, and it might be that his past life was about the abuse of justice, abuse of relationships, abuse of beauty, and that's why he looks the way that he does. He's very uncomfortable with the way that he looks, and maybe he abused his beauty in the past, and that's why now he's uncomfortable with the way that he looks, because I did listen to his interviews. And that's what his friends tell, his childhood friends, that the reason he had to have so many women is because he's just so uncomfortable with the way that he looks, that he uses women. You know, he gets women to prove to the world that he is desirable and charming and so forth. And another thing, his past life issues might have been to do with the abuse of power, abuse of sexual power also. And we see that he's not solving those past life issues. So we can see that the part of fortune is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So it's again a powerful degree between Capricorn and Aquarius, and it means that his wealth ability to earn wealth lies in his ability to express himself in business environments, as well as when it comes to doing something that is modern, advanced, like what he does. He was working in movie industry, and movies is not something that is ancient. It's a new phenomena, a relatively new phenomena. So he was able to succeed in this area, and we can see that the part of fortune, although I did not actually activate aspects, but I saw before that the part of fortune in his chart is not aspected, is unaspected, and this means that it's strong like any other planet that's unaspected in the chart. Part of fortune is not a planet, it's a mathematical point, but it's unaspected, and it makes it more drawing into itself. How to say, it's a powerful one, and we can see that he was, I think he's a billionaire, extremely rich. So an unaspected part of fortune, if activated through your activity, the way that it's shown in the in your natal chart, can result in a lot of wealth. And if you wish me to look at the part of fortune, if you do order my service, then let me know, and I will check how you can earn wealth, what your part of fortune tells about how you can earn wealth. So just let me know, and then I will check the part of fortune. And we can also see that his north node lies in the 4th house, which means in 0 degrees of Pisces, which means that his lesson, also one of the lessons in this life, is to focus on becoming a more spiritual person at the core of resolving core issues. It's about becoming a family man more than focusing on career, but he did not do it. So it means that he's continuing to act in the way that he did in his past life. He's not learning his lessons. And in the past life, according to astrology, he was focused mainly about his career. And this life, it should be about home life, but he is not fulfilling the purpose. And we can see actually that his Venus is in her exaltation in Pisces. But unfortunately, again, this person was unable to access its higher vibrations, and he's lost in sexual fantasies rather than allowing this sign to be gentle and to experience spiritual love. He definitely did not activate this aspect of his life. And we can see that his sun is at 29 degrees of Pisces. This is a very dangerous astrological degree, and it's very difficult to activate its positive influence. This particular 29 degrees of Pisces conjuncts the star sheet, which is one of the black malefics. Markup also is considered a black malefic. So this particular star, in conjunction with his sun, is a star that gives violence. Either he will do violence on other people, or other people will do violence on him, and it can indicate lifelong imprisonment. It's a star of extreme misfortune, and it can indicate murder, suicide, drowning. So he might actually take his own life, or it could be that he might be imprisoned for the rest of his life. It's just such a malefic star, and his sun is in conjunction with it, and the sun is totally unaspected, making it very strong. This is such a dangerous degree of Pisces, the end of the 12th sign, and it can indicate heavy karma, and most people are unable to activate the positive influence of this degree, which is about higher creativity. And you could say that he was creative, and yes, there are other indicators of creativity, like his Neptune, although it's badly aspected, but it means that he is not accessing higher vibrations of what Neptune can offer. And again, even if Neptune is not well aspected, you can still try to access its higher vibrations through your own effort, but obviously he is not doing it. He is just acting on as though autopilot. He is not developing himself, so he can't access that creativity. We can see that his Mercury, standing for his mind, is aspecting Neptune and in conjunction with Jupiter. But although these aspects can give him high creativity and lots to give to the world, unfortunately he was tapping into the lower form of creativity. So he was, in his mind, these kind of people, especially when the sun is in Pisces and the mind is influenced by Neptune, they might live in the world of fantasies. It might be difficult for them to understand even their own limitations, how actions of theirs will influence other people. He might be living half of his, he might not be able actually to tell reality from fantasy. Maybe it's mixed in his mind, and he might have been thinking that he's untouchable, that nobody will be able to do anything about his actions, nobody will be able to bring him down. But obviously, if a person lives in fantasy, it comes crashing down usually sooner or later. And we can see here that Uranus in his 8th house will give him unusual sexual preferences, unusual secrets, unusual ways that he would operate in secrecy. And also we can see that his Pluto is conjuncting midheaven, which makes Pluto powerful. And in his case, Pluto governs also not only the way that he understands spirituality, education, long distance travels, but it also influences his public image because of the conjunction to midheaven. And we can see that it rules the sign, what the sign of Leo does in his case, which is about creativity, free time activities, children, fame, arts. And obviously if Pluto is located there, there's a possibility of misuse of such areas unless one is conscious. And what Pluto conjunct midheaven sometimes gives is downfall. If you are abusing power, or sometimes it's even unavoidable, even if you're not abusing your power, you can experience downfall. And that's because it's written by the stars, and maybe there are some lessons for you to learn from that. Maybe you will understand what it is like, how other people who experience downfall feel. You might become humble and more compassionate after the downfall. So sometimes what impersonal planets like Pluto and Uranus does is something that it can't be changed. It might be that you cannot avoid that, but then you can also learn from that seeming misfortune. So actually it's very common for people who have Pluto conjunct their midheaven to experience fall or scandal or something wrong, suddenly wrong going with their careers. And he obviously experienced that. And we can see also Lilith conjunct his midheaven, which again, Lilith is about delays, but also about abuse. That in his case, he was abusing his position in life. He was abusing, he was doing abuse in his work, and the abuse is also connected with fame as well as love affairs, because Leo rules the 5th house of love affairs. So having Lilith here makes it extra dangerous, because people might give in to such impulses to abuse their status, abuse their power, abuse their creative faculties and abuse and do something abusive in their free time. And we can see that his Saturn is in 11th house, which is about friends. So it might mean that he had very few real friends, that his friends were usually older people or people in some kind of position in life, high position in life. And Saturn is totally afflicted in his chart, making him very selfish in his mind, in what he gives to the world. So he might want something in return. It wasn't giving for the sake of giving, and he was just selfish in his behavior, and also quite unpredictable. Also, since Libra rules relationships and beauty, we see two planets there, Neptune and the mentioned Saturn, and Saturn gives a lack of whatever sign rules it, whatever sign it rules. And sometimes if person tries hard, he can actually master the gifts of that sign and become an expert in them. But if a person is not developing, then it's going to just, that area will be showing lack. So Libra also rules beauty, and he was always unhappy with the way that he looked from the interviews, as I said, that I watched of him. And Libra rules relationships. He wasn't able to learn the lessons of relationships and fairness and harmony, and the way that he understood those aspects, those areas of life might have been extremely distorted. So I think, and we can see even from the aspects here that he has so many issues to resolve. You can see the red aspects showing negative combinations, negative rays of shared between planets. So when you see many red aspects in the chart, it means that the person has come with heavy karma in this life. There are so many things to resolve, and this person didn't do much about it. So his life is not over yet. Maybe he will learn from his mistakes, let's hope. But so far we are not seeing this to be taking place. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this was useful for you. Thank you for watching. Take care.